I thought they
They're going to do the kickoff.
Yeah.
I think they're kicking off.
Yeah, their
Right, so
search
they're
and
ready.
is doing a kickoff.
So they're,
Okay.
wait a minute, doesn't this need to be?
So, gotcha. They can do that.
But this needs to be moved from the school.
Good evening, good morning. I think I'll just do this one time because I don't want to change the setup. So everybody is here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
I thought we were going to be on a big TV.
Okay.
Right. You will be talking interview. Welcome to Residence Toastmaster Club. So my name is Dilip Bosle, Sergeant at Arms for the meeting number 238. So before we proceed, so I request everyone to stand up for the Indian National Anthem.
Yeah, we are standing here as well.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good morning.
Morning.
It is my pleasure to call our 3,157th meeting to order. Please stand and recite with me the Toastmasters Club mission statement. The mission of the Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Thank you. You may now be seated. And also, please take a moment to silence all of our cell phones if you haven't already done so. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce Varun Malavalli, President of Residence Toastmasters. Residence was chartered in 2014 and has over 60 active members. This is their 238th meeting. Varun Malavalli is an IT professional and operations executive with JDA Software, a leader in artificial intelligence and machine learning. He has been a Toastmaster for 4.5 years. He loves watching movies that make sense and entertain. His enthusiasm and creativity has been a major force in bringing today's meeting to life. Please join me in welcoming Varun Malavalli.
Thank you so much, Trick. On this note, I would like to declare meeting number 3,157 open for Dogwood Toastmasters. The first time I heard about Olympic sports was during the Atlanta Olympics in 1996. I was just under 10 years old, and whatever trivia we learned about Olympics started from Atlanta Olympics. So it's a very, very special remember the 19th of October because it's on this day that we are making the vision of Ralph C. Medley come to life by bringing together two clubs from different continents. Well, what was Ralph C. Medley's vision? To make things better for everyone around him. And his vision has had a salutary effect on all of us, especially in terms of public speaking. And Toastmasters in itself has become one large family connected by Google Hangouts. On this note, I would like to thank the father of Toastmasters, Ralph C. Medley, because on October 22nd, 1924 is when we had our first official Toastmasters Club meeting. And on October 19, 2019, probably we are having our first ever international linkers meeting of both districts put together.
Yes.
Wishing everyone future. Now I'd like to hand over the meeting to this person who has been a Toastmaster for 25 years. I mean, probably some of you are even younger than her experience. And she's been with Dogwood for 6 years. Kay Colson, the president of Dogwood Toastmasters, is a management consultant leading international recruitment teams. Kay is a champion of education in her community, and she also vouches for women empowerment. Without much ado, let us welcome this superwoman, President.
Thank you very much, Varun, for that amazing introduction. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters in the United States, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters in India. It is a delight to be here. Welcome to this exciting joint meeting and celebration. I believe this sets the course for both of our clubs of international linkers to start a movement for leveraging public speaking, leadership, teamwork, and technology to create great opportunities to work in a very productive and fun environment together. Thanks to everyone from both clubs for joining us for this very cool event. Woo-hoo. This meeting would never have happened without a dedicated Toastmaster. Ron Cravat envisioned today's live joint meeting and has made it happen. How did he do this? First, he searched for a club in a complementary time zone that meets on Saturday. He found resonance and an energetic partner in Varun Malavalli. He knew he needed technology, so he enlisted our own Sumit Mukherjee, because Sumit always makes our technology work. And finally, he scheduled the meeting and went to work, harnessing everyone's energy and combined enthusiasm to get it done. But this kind of perseverance is what Ron is all about. He has been a member of Dogwood for 12 years, served as president and in many other offices as well. He has earned his DTM and was honored as Division Director of the Year in 2011. He also served as our District Pathways Guide Administrator in 2018. Through that role and as an early Pathways adopter, he continues as a strong advocate for the Pathways program. Please join me in welcoming our Toastmaster of the Day, Ron Cravat.
Good morning, good evening, wherever you happen to find yourself today. We also would like to welcome John Cargyle and Betty Tucker, who are joining the meeting remotely.
Okay, great.
As Varun mentioned today, this week, we are celebrating the 95th anniversary of the first official Toastmasters down in Santa Ana, California. So today we're settling that tradition, moving that tradition forward into the 2nd century. So now we will get right into one of the unique features of Dogwood's Toastmasters Club, which is the 4-minute quartet. So, please help me welcome the word of the day, James Yick. We have our philosopher, Josephine Ross, 1 Minute Toast Master, Program Quality Director for the district is Anwisha, and Joke Master, Charles Clendenden. James Yick with our word of the day.
Coming up a little.
Good evening and good morning. Today's word of the day is salutary. Having a beneficial effect, tending to improve. Alexis de Tocqueville observed that America was teeming with voluntary associations, charities, choral groups, church study groups, book clubs, that had a remarkably salutary effect on society, turning selfish individuals into public-spirited citizens.
Now with our philosophy to today, our very own Josephine Ross.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and good morning. The philosophy for the day comes from Ralph C. Smedley in honor of today. I love this quote. It is, "Whenever your grade or position, if you know how and when to speak and when to remain silent, your chances of real success are proportionately increased." That's my philosophy, because working on the phones with customer service, you have to know when not to speak is just as important as to know when to speak. Philosophy for today. Thank you.
Now for our 1 Minute Toastmaster. This is just advice about being a good speaker and leader. Here we have our Program Quality Director, Anwisha Banerjee.
Good morning, Toastmasters across the world.
Good morning.
For 1 Minute Toastmaster, we all know that Toastmasters is an organization that helps us become better speakers and leaders. But there is another aspect of Toastmasters which we don't talk about a lot, and that is relationship building. Toastmasters really give us the opportunity to meet people from different backgrounds, different walks of life. So I suggest that get to know them beyond just club meetings. Learn from their stories and their experience, and that also will help us in developing ourselves in our professional and personal life. Back to you, Dr.
And now for a moment of levity, we have our Joke Master, our VP of Public Relations, Charles Clendenden.
Good morning, Toastmasters. Good evening, Toastmasters. I am that other walk of life that Anwisha was speaking of. A group of men were sitting in the locker room of a prestigious country club, and a phone rings. Gentleman reaches down and engages the hands-free mode. Says, "Hello." The lady says, "Honey, are you at the club?" "Yes, I am." She says, "Well, I have been shopping and I found a leather coat that I really like. It's only $1,000. Can I get it?" He says, "Well, if you really like it and you must have it, yes, you can get it." I said, "Well, thank you. I also went by the Porsche dealership on the way, and they have the new Porsche there. It's only $200,000. You know, what do you think?" I said, "Well, for $200,000, I would want all of the options available." Oh, she's really excited. And she said, "Well, one more other thing. You know that house that I liked last year? It's back on the market for just $950,000. He Says, okay, I know you liked it. Offer them 900 and then go with it. So excited, hangs up the phone. Every jaw in the locker room is dropped. They're just amazed at what happened. And then the gentleman looks around and says, anybody know whose phone this is? Our next portion of the meeting is the prepared speeches section. And for this, both of our speeches today are 5 to 7 minutes. Miss Barber, can you please explain the timing for 5 to 7 minutes?
Yes, Mr. Toastmaster. At the 5-minute point, I will turn the green light on. At the 6-minute point, I'll turn the amber light on. And at the 7-minute mark, I'll turn the red light on. It will stay on. There's a 30-second window on both sides. Mr. Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you. Our first speech today is from the Competent Communicator Manual, project number 9, Persuade with Power, when you're trying to convince us to take action. So that's the persuasive speech. And the title of this speech is Help Us. Please help me welcome our first speaker today, Lavanya Manjunath.
Thank you. Please start the time now. Black to my right, black to my left, black to my front and back, black till my eyes reach. I see a silhouette of a small girl approaching towards us. Alongside, I also see a huge giant man's silhouette too. He's wrapping his one hand against that small girl's waist. Another hand is wrapped around her mouth. They both are approaching. They're approaching me. Black. Good morning and good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. And good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nightmares like these are horror for the rest of your week. What if this nightmare is a reality? For me, for you, your friend, your family, anyone. What if it's a reality? What will you do? Have you ever thought about it? Maybe you would have brainstormed a lot of ideas and come up with few of what you would do at that situation. Do you really think you would do one among those ideas that you have thought about? Or at least think of any of those ideas that you have brainstormed? If you would ask me, I would have told you my tall tale story. Just because that I'm, getting ready for my tall tale contest in my club. Once upon a time, in a buzzing city of Mumbai, in India, there was this girl who was new to the city. This girl was really not okay with humidity of that city and also the overpopulation of that city. But she extremely loved freedom and the charm of the city. With eyes full of sparkle and head full of dreams, she loved and cherished every moment that she was staying in that city. But you see, life is not that rosy. So, an incident happened to her. watch a movie all by herself. At the ticket counter, she encountered a handsome young man with so much charm on his face. And they passed by, touching her hand. Later, at the execution, in the far view, he was just right behind her and stumbled and fell over her back.
Betty needs to hit
Silence,
mute.
Betty. Can somebody
Betty
silence
needs to hit
Betty?
mute.
Wait,
Excuse me,
here's the
Betty,
twist.
can you hit mute?
At the end, when the movie finished, and she was walking out the exit, this man followed her and ran behind her and grabbed her tie from behind. The touch, fall, and the blood. It was like a venom running inside her veins. Black she was, salty and sharp. She was broken. She couldn't even dream what she was passing. She was choked by the trauma that she had faced from childhood, just like this before. She was so horrified that she looked at herself and asked whether the black leggings and the knee-length hoodie is inappropriate dress code for a movie like that? Or did she give signs towards this guy? Or you should not react to the evil things. Or she was just awestruck that she hated being human. She was just petrified with the fact that she was this. But enough is enough. She reached her threshold and ran behind the guy who was re-entering his marketplace. She held his collar in her hand and punched right into him. To rescue him, the two other guys came and punched back at her. And another gave her elbow to break. We had a small man who was bleeding, but what we could see was people were not reacting to it. People, people who are also the 50%, they give a reason to what was happening in a cineplex. This knowledge, she was that comment in her hand and took her phone out and dialed the police. The police were there. And then
Hang her up.
Hang your hand.
Didn't know what the legal procedure was. And as an outsider, who would want to involve your family into this situation? So she left that and walked away. This is the end of my holiday. Portrait. Just imagine what the horror she would have gone through. How she would have felt being black inside and bright outside. She had to come back to Ireland. On the way back, she was horrified with the fact that humanity doesn't exist at all. And she asked, why me? Why not someone else? Why me? And then it all wiped out, and somehow she reached home. She was so afraid that even she was that afraid, that petrified with the fact that she had to undo this. Alright, this is the end of my talk day. Final again. If you're wondering who is this she figure, The she is me.
A virtual handshake here. Okay, thank you, Lavanya. Okay, we'll just have 1 minute on the clock to write your comments and hand them to her evaluator, to be Helena Lauren.
So Ron,
Yes.
we heard some interference when Lavanya was talking. So I request Sumit to mute when we are talking, and we will do the same when you folks are talking, so that noise from others will not interrupt.
Yeah, interference. There was another person on the call and her mic was on, so we called her and requested her to switch it off. So now it shouldn't be there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
All right. Our next speaker is working in the presentation mastery path. He's doing project 2, the evaluation and feedback project. And he's giving the second speech. So he gave the same speech last week and he got evaluated, and I passed on that evaluation form to his evaluator, and he's going to learn from his wayward ways in his first iteration of the speech, and now, based on the feedback that he received last week, he's going to greatly improve the speech. So we'll have a great, more refined version this week. So, the name of the title of the speech is The American Dream. Timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Please help me welcome Sal Vega.
Thank you, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and Toastmasters in India. So, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, the tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. This is from the excerpt of the Colossus by Emma Lawrence. This is actually etched upon a plaque that sits on the Statue of Liberty. The very symbol that for at least the past 100 years has stood as a symbol for immigrants coming to this country, as a symbol of hope for those seeking opportunities in this nation to seek the American dream. The American dream being that no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, you have the opportunity, as long as you have the willing to work, la ganas, to do it, that you can do the American dream. A lot of you right here in this room are also immigrants or come from immigrant parents, so you understand the story we're about to tell you. My parents are also immigrants. They came from Mexico. They came from Michoacan. It's one of the most dangerous states right now in Mexico, and it was then too. They left their country. They left their country of birth to come to the United States. They went through, of all places, to the border of California and Mexico through Tijuana. They crossed, and then for some reason, of all places again, ended in Fresno. They didn't go to LA, Orange County, SoCal, San Francisco, all the cool places you can think of, California, they went to Fresno. Fresno is considered the agricultural capital of the United States. They went there back in the early 1980s. And yes, they did cross illegally. I forgot to mention that part. They broke some laws there, unfortunately. But they arrived in Fresno, and they worked there. They worked in the fields. They worked on ranches. on farms, dairies, cleaning houses, working for less than the minimum wage because they were illegal, so they didn't qualify for that legal pay that they would usually get. And on top of that, they worked long hours. And then for some reason, they paid taxes. I never really understood that, but they paid taxes here as well. And then something miraculous happened in 1986. I'm not talking about the Immigration and Reform Act that took place. I'm talking about the fact that Republicans and the Democrats got together and actually did something for once. For you to understand, they don't work too well together today. So they actually passed it, and it became law, and allowed millions of illegals to become residents and then path towards citizenship in the United States, which allowed my parents to stay here. And because of that, they now own a house with a front yard and a backyard and 2 cars, and they had 3 kids. And of those 3 kids, myself, my brother entered the military. He joined the Navy. I didn't join the Navy because I don't like the water, so I joined the Army. And my sister works at a dental clinic. So this nation gave us an opportunity to stay here, and it kind of, right now, it's kind of interesting because back then Ronald Reagan was for amnesty for illegals, and now a lot of people are really against immigration in any form or fashion, it seems. But yet, according to the Academy of Sciences, immigrants long-term are a positive for the economy or for the nation at large because it increases the demographics, and also you have a larger tax base to get more money from, which is interesting enough. They take more of your money. And it just provides a lot of positive outlook. And then also there's also this belief, this saying that illegals or immigrants bring higher crime rate than those they are born. But yet there's actually a report that came out from the Cato Institute that looked at the state of Texas. If you guys know where Texas is, it's the southern portion of the United States. And in there they have a lot of immigrants, specifically Hispanic population is pretty large there, but they have a lot of other ones as well. And what they found was, what they found is in the state of Texas that the crime rate was actually 50% below that of the native born, and those that were legal immigrants had a 66% rate below that of native born in terms of committing crimes. So if you make those illegals positive, you get a positive +10 and reduction in crime. To me, it's so important that we actually are welcoming towards immigrants because we are known as a nation of immigrants. And we should hold up to that mantle, that we are the de facto want to be the place you should come here and give you that opportunity. And I'll end with the same quote I started with earlier. I want you to remember this and think heavily upon this.